Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Karen Williams, and I'm going to guide you through today's highly informative session. We're going to get right into our webinar, and I won't spend a lot of time talking about me, but I will provide you with some information you can take away and use today. But I do want to introduce myself to you. I've spent 30 years creating and managing marketing communications in the healthcare, government, and education sectors. I've been an adjunct instructor in marketing communications at colleges and universities in Indiana and Illinois. I've presented workshops on marketing and community engagement, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. But today I'm going to provide you with marketing and communication strategies that will help your nonprofit move forward and expand your donations, volunteers, and community support within 90 days. All of you I know began your nonprofit journey with noble aspirations, aiming to revolutionize the world and leave a mark on your community. Your organization seeks to make a difference. Yet, too often, these aspirations are squelched as many nonprofits face premature closure and are unable to realize their full potential. They just couldn't sustain themselves. And this was caused because there was not enough stakeholder support to keep them going. This session is for directors, senior staff, board members of community nonprofits, especially if you wear all the hats. You've probably been trying to market your organization, or you may not be doing marketing at all. I know some nonprofits are funded through grants, so they believe that they don't have to market themselves. Marketing, I know, is time consuming, and some of you feel you may not have the skill to do it successfully. Today, we're going to look at the easy marketing tactics that you can employ to improve and keep your community engaged and expand donations, volunteers, and support along the way. So I know this happens often. You've met people who, after you tell them about your services and programs, seem really excited about you and your organization. And you think, wow, this will be a great person to have on our board, or serve as a volunteer, or even donate to us. You might even send a follow-up email or letter to them, but then you don't get any response. So you forget about them and you move on to the next person. If people aren't supporting your organization, you may not have a programming problem, you may have a communication problem. My goal for you today is that you walk away with ideas that will help you create better engagement and visibility to members of your community and stakeholders. So, once we go through this exercise, you won't look at your marketing the same way. You'll have at least two new ways of rethinking about what you're doing now to promote your organization and interact with donors. After all, you want to build the organization's image and reputation in your community and help the public remember the organization and its cause and support it. We're going to be covering three important topics to get you going or reevaluate your marketing plan or reinvigorate um, your whole concept of marketing. So, number one, how to reach people who really care about and need your services through target marketing. Number two, how to build a clear marketing plan that will keep you focused and provide results. Number three, give you tips on how to improve continuously your communications and outreach. Now, we can achieve all of this without spending lots of money on a one-shot deal that doesn't give you the continuous marketing you need. And you won't need lots of skills to develop complicated campaigns. And you can create your plan without it taking all your time. You'll still have time to manage your organization, and also you'll be able to show that you care about your donors and supporters when you do this. The things that work for the big organizations may not work for a local organization like yours. So I don't want you to think of complicated things. One, because you don't have the budget, you don't have the time, and you probably don't have the staff. So we've got to really focus in on strategies that are meant for local organizations to help organizations like you gain visibility. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's session. There are gurus out there, many of them, and coaches telling you what to do. And if you listen to them, you've probably been overthinking the process, um, being confused, which leads you to never act. And keeping ideas in your head or just thinking you know what to do won't get it. And grabbing at the latest flashy ad trend, marketing trend, because everyone else is doing it, it just may not work for your organization. There are other nonprofits out there that are taking marketing steps and they're having massive action and they are 10 steps ahead of where you could be. You may already be doing some marketing to drive visibility to your service, but not enough to really engage with your stakeholders, drive more donations, and get more volunteers. I hear people say they don't know this organization existed or they don't know what they do. And just having a once a year fundraiser or selling cupcakes won't get you to the next level. And it won't surely keep you sustainable, nor will just relying on those grants you may get. Also, your board will be more visible and feel good about serving with a nonprofit that is promoting itself in the community. So, to build a strong nonprofit, you want your stakeholders to be engaged with you and understand your mission and programs. Now, stakeholders are your clients, your employees, your donors, your board of directors, and the community where you are located. So, let me tell you a little bit more about me. I already told you that I've been working in marketing communications for 30 years and I've been working in the government, healthcare, and education sectors. So, about 8 years ago, I started my own communications consultancy after being downsized from my executive director of marketing position at a community college. I put my shingle out and I went out talking with businesses and nonprofits about their marketing and how I could help them. After so many years working and collaborating with nonprofits profits in my various roles, I would always see them struggle to remain sustainable. I knew that there was a need for my marketing services, so I went out with my portfolio and presentations and talked with lots of nonprofits. I told them how to develop good extensive marketing campaigns, talked about metrics and social media and content development, and told them I could develop a plan with all of that in it that would help them grow and engage their stakeholders. And you know what? I didn't get hardly any takers. And I didn't understand why. Because I provided good plans that would undoubtedly help them. I could put them in a place that would help promote them, but nonetheless, nothing. So for 6 years, I didn't approach any nonprofits. I only worked with large companies because I knew that they understood the importance of marketing and the skills I brought to them. They knew I could add value to their projects. But I still wanted nonprofits um, to grow because I watched many of them struggle and fail in their efforts. About a year ago, I was at an event with many small businesses and nonprofits, one of those evening networking event type situations. And I chatted with them. I began to ask questions about their marketing, and many of them had done some short term things, and others relied only on social media and perhaps a newsletter here and there. So I asked the nonprofit director, why did I have the experience that I did with nonprofits? I obviously have the skill and experience in marketing communications. And this is what he told me. He said, I don't understand marketing, and I really don't have the money because you probably cost a lot, and I just don't want to fail. What these nonprofits weren't getting was that marketing was not an option. They didn't understand what marketing could really bring to them or how to do it, and they saw it as overhead. How can you have an impact on your community, deliver your services, and improve the lives of your stakeholders if you don't have marketing? That's my thinking. You will never put your organization and your stakeholders in a place of greater abundance. Community engagement is not a luxury. After that conversation, I had my aha moment. I realized that what I was proposing to these entities, even if they needed it, it was just too much for them to take in. You see, I have been used to working with large entities, like I said before, that had the time, the talent, and the money to create big plans and see them through. And although marketing works and would work for the nonprofits too, it was just too much for them to fathom. Their eyes glazed over when I talked to them. That's when I realized that they needed a coach and not a consultant. They needed someone to guide them and give them resources to advance their mission and help them connect to their stakeholders. See, a coach plans, analyzes, motivates, instructs, directs, and mentors to help a team achieve their goals. They act as a guide. So if you stick around to the end, you will get tips that you can implement today. And if you put some of them in place, they can run on automatic. You'll have a new outlook on how to market your organization. You'll be able to make better marketing decisions with confidence. And we're going to walk through some of those things that, again, you can do today that will put you on the road to an updated, more visible organization. But first, I don't want to waste anyone's time, so I'm going to spell out who this webinar is for. It is for legally identified nonprofits that are currently in operation. These nonprofits are providing services within a community and want to expand their community engagement to keep their stakeholders. Again, stakeholders can be termed clients, volunteers, local officials, other party organizations, and employees. If you are a one-person organization, this webinar is not for you. You don't have to have tens of people on your payroll, but you must be a functioning organization with some staff or volunteer staff. These are the 4 topics that we will be covering today. Identifying your niche market, creating your marketing objectives and strategies, improving your marketing communications, using email marketing to reach your supporters and your donors. Now you say, why did I choose those to focus in on? Because I did some research and I found out that these 4 topics fit into the 5 mistakes that nonprofits make concerning their marketing. And these are the 5 mistakes. Not understanding their customers, clients, donors, volunteers, not having marketing goals and strategies, not communicating with their stakeholders, not maintaining and curating a marketing list, and neglecting email marketing. How many of these mistakes have you made? Let's look at the first strategy. The first strategy is to define your target audience. Now, many of you have done this already, I hope. But I want to reiterate that you need to do it at least every 2 years and reevaluate it frequently because the market may change. Now, many of you may already know who your clients are, but have you clearly defined your stakeholders, your donors, your community? Your audience just isn't the people you serve, so you may have several target markets. Conduct market research about your clients and stakeholders. You can use a variety of methods such as surveys, interviews, online resources, or using existing data from similar services or nonprofits. Or just start by reviewing your current clients. You'll need to know demographic factors such as age, gender, location, income level, education level, marital status, occupation, and ethnicity. These characteristics can help you create a general profile of your target audience in your service area. For example, if you service people who are blind, Do you service people who have degenerative diseases or people who have been blind from birth? Are they younger people or are they older people? Are they a certain ethnic group? These are the demographics that you'll probably want to clarify. Now, we could go deeper into something called psychographics. And psychographics, marketers use this a lot to determine buying behavior and attitudes, lifestyles, because they help hone in who you really are trying to attract or serve. So you can help create more targeted messages and content when you do psychographics. So, for example, we may know that most of the people who donate to your cause are between the ages of 45 and 50, and they are men. We're talking just about donors right now. But psychographics may tell you that there are men interested in health and wellness and work out no fewer than 3 times per week, and their hobbies are dancing. With that in mind, you can develop communications to other like minded people who may not be involved with you and attract them to your cause. We call these things personas. You can create personas. So in this instance, Bob is our male, 45 to 50, who works out 3 times a week and dances. And Bob would be the avatar for the people that we would try to meet. And in marketing, they do this a lot. They'll name these avatars. So when they create a new project, they'll say, would Betty like it? Or would Ted like it? It's kind of deep, but you can keep that in your mind. You can may have to do a little bit more research to reach these kind of people. Let's look at a marketing plan. A marketing plan serves as a roadmap for a business's marketing efforts. When creating a marketing goal, you want to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Those 5 points are very important. Don't set goals that are way too difficult to achieve in the future that you want to achieve. Also, don't pick a nebulous goal like I want to have more money for my nonprofit. What does that mean? What is more money? How do you measure that? So you might say, I want to expand our bottom line by 10% within the next 3 months to buy food for clients for the holidays. That's very specific. Your strategy to reach that goal might be create a social media campaign on Instagram that encourages more monetary donations to provide money for food to our target audience. Very, very specific. Let's look at some other specific ways to improve your communication. One of the first ways is to create a website. Now, everybody has a website, right? So saying that's a no-brainer. But you would be surprised how many people I run into that run nonprofits that do not have a website or some type of landing page with information about their organization. And if they do have a website, it's a terrible website. It was like somebody designed it who was in 5th grade. They put a whole lot of different fonts on there, colors, contrasting that clash, just a visual mess. So a website has actually taken the place of the brochure. Remember back in the old days how organizations would print like 100 or hundreds of brochures every year to hand out when they went out in public? And I'm sure if you've been in the nonprofit biz for a while, you know that you did that too. Well, the website has taken the place of those brochures. It is now the main point of reference for many people. A well-built website is important. No crazy colors, no a whole lot of things running, text moving things. It signals to people who you are, right? And if it's confusing, they will think you're confusing too. So when they go to your website, they're seeking information on your programming, your board members. They may be looking for your staff and maybe even some of your financials. You want to make sure your navigation is clear, using a straightforward layout and applying search engine optimization, which is called SEO, best practices. Now, if you have a webmaster, they will know how to encourage you to develop your content so that it will allow for search engines to pick you up when people search for your type of service. That's called SEO, search engine optimization. It's based off of your text, what you have written on your page, your photos, your videos, just about everything on your website. And it all should be cohesive and communicate your message. It should fit in with your branding. Your web page should look like your overall branding. Interesting content creates customer motivation, especially when it's presented in an easy to find format with clear navigation and readable copy. Images are one of the most important parts of any website because they help tell your story and build your trust with your visitors. After all, who doesn't love a good picture or video? So, including trust building elements like testimonials and reviews also help. There are some really good website platforms out there. If you don't have a webmaster or you don't have someone to build your site, you can find a platform that could help you do it rather quickly. A lot of these platforms are very simple, and you can go to you can Google website platforms and they will give a list of names. So visit each site and see which ones seem like something you can use and will fit your skill level and give you what you need for your organization. Sometimes they will even allow you to have a free account for a week or so. Now, what I do when I'm looking for any kind of platform that I may want to use in my business, I will Google what are the best platforms for X in whatever the current year may be. If you have a complicated site, I suggest that you probably talk to a website company to help you map it out. You want to be able to connect your donation buttons and your financial your savings or checking accounts so that when people go to your website, they can just go ahead and donate to you right there on the site. You want to be able to have it be able to read your website statistics. You also want it to be very good for people with visual impairments. So all of those things are considerations when you're building a website. Now, a lot of these platforms I'm telling you about, they can help you with that because they've come a long way now. They are in compliance with all of the regulations that need to be in compliance. They can help you build certain sections of your website. So go ahead. Most of the platforms, they have all of this figured out. Now, social media. That is a big topic because everybody knows you have to be on social media. But you don't have to be on every social media site. You just need to be on the ones that your clients and donors are on. That's why a persona would help you. Bob. Remember, Bob is 40 to 45 years old. I don't think he's going to be on Snapchat. So posting regularly is always a good rule of thumb to follow. You want to maintain consistency in brand image, brand message, and posting. Make sure you are posting in the correct hashtags for each platform, as well as keeping an eye out for relevant trends that may be helpful in growing your audience base. Your social networks should provide content that adds value to the people going to your site. So don't merely advertise all the time or ask for money all the time. You might want to provide information that supports whatever services you provide. For instance, if you're a healthcare provider, a healthcare nonprofit, and you work with people with diabetes, give statistics on diabetes. Talk about diabetes in your community. You might even want to do some live streaming of people who are in your services and talk about how diabetes has impacted their lives. Make sure also that you have a button on each of your social media pages for donations. So in general, if you look at the information below, Facebook is primarily for people who are a little bit older, generally over 40. TikTok for young teenagers and 20s. Instagram hits your 30-year and a little older group. And X, formerly known as Twitter, is used mainly by middle-aged people. Creating a content calendar for each platform is another way to keep things on track because it'll seem like you've got so much to remember. But really, if you write down on your content calendar what you want to post, when you want to post, it will help you a lot. I've created some little grids, and these are easy. You can do the same thing. I have a book of what I call marketing guides, and this is one of the guides I put together. So, creating engaging and interesting content by liking and responding to comments on posts, creating live stream events, or creating polls and quizzes for users will engage with your audience much better. And you can keep track of that all on this content calendar. Now, video boosts conversion rates. And conversion rates mean people follow through, click on, or do whatever it is you're asking them to do. But did you know that including video on a landing page or a web page can increase those conversions by 80%? Video content attracts and retains user attention. It can boost your SEO ranking, search engine optimization, and makes your brand more memorable. You can upload your video on YouTube and you can create your own channel. You might do interviews with clients, donors, volunteers, employees. You can also load them up on your website. Your visibility and opportunity to show up in search, as I said, is greatly increased, and video is the perfect way to create a personality for your organization, enabling people to connect with you through video. And you don't need fancy equipment. You can do video on your phone or a tablet. So if you're looking for a way to stand out in the crowd, video is great. Make sure your audience stays engaged with you. Don't just leave within the first few seconds and just do a quick 1 second thing. You want to tell a story. You want to, like I said, interview people, talk about some of the things that you're doing, show behind the scenes, talk about how difficult it is to run a nonprofit, but you want people to be engaged. You want to share some of your personal journey. You want to, for instance, if you're a great example, if you run a neighborhood farm, a community garden, show the garden, show how hard it is, or how, if it is hard, how hard it is to keep that garden growing, and some of the obstacles that you've had. All of that is entertaining to people. And you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a big production. In fact, sometimes the less perfect it is, the more engaging it can be for people because they'll know you're authentic. Now, do not photograph or video children without consent. This is a big no-no. In fact, I would suggest you get consent forms for everybody. Everybody that you use in a picture or a video, or that you use their voice in a podcast, get a consent form from them. Because you don't want anybody coming back saying they didn't know you were going to post this on social media, or use their image in a brochure, or put their voice out and identify them in a podcast. I would get those consent forms and I'd keep them. I suggest 5 years. Now, that's just me. I don't know if that's legally not enough or too long, but I keep them. When I worked for the community college, we always had to get consent forms from students, and we had them going back for 10 years. Those students had graduated, and they were their kids were now coming to the college. But I'm just saying, just don't videotape or do anything without anybody's permission. Let's talk about the marketing list. My most favorite topic of all, because the money isn't in how many followers or fans you have on social media, but in the list that you can communicate with for the long term. I am so surprised how few nonprofits put emphasis on this. The most important thing you can do as a nonprofit is to develop and maintain a marketing list. Having a list will save you hundreds, no, let me back up, thousands of dollars in marketing costs. A list is like gold. You can reach out to people who have shown an interest in your services and engage them continuously. When you start building your list, it's important to build an audience of interested parties. Not only people who have used your services, but all your stakeholders. People who have come to your events, local politicians, volunteers, friends, and family of your clients, as many people as possible. One way to build your list is through networking at events and gathering business cards. That's a no-brainer. But you can also put a sign-up form on your website. Another way is through placing ads through social media by creating what we call a lead generating ad. Now, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn offers ads that can be targeted. So you can target Bob, right? Our avatar. You can ask people to give their name and email address by offering valuable resources called lead magnets, such as ebooks about your service or reports, white papers, coupons for merchandise that you may sell, or memberships that you might have. You can offer all of that through Facebook advertising. And what happens is once they sign up to get your whatever you're offering free, now you've gathered their email address, their name, their phone number, or how many pieces of information you need. Not a lot. I wouldn't do, the whole address and all that. Just hit name and email, maybe phone number, and that's it. These types of ads are targeted to the type of people who would be interested in your services or donating to your nonprofit. You can actually run ads for about $10 a day. This is not, I would suggest, a long-term thing. Well, you could do it long-term. You could do it for as long as your budget allows, but you don't have to run these ads for a year constantly. You want to maybe target it, segment it out in a campaign. Now, with these names you gather on your list, as I said, you can continuously reach out to clients and donors and board members and your community by using email. You can segment all of those names into a list. You can segment them out and give them a different identifier so that when you email, you're just not sending out a mass email. You may be sending only to the Bobs, or only to the Carols, or only to the Trishas. You can segment those lists out, and you can have different messages going to each one of those segments. And it opens you up, again, like I said, for ongoing communication. It also develops relationships. And again, if you're selling products, this is a great way to keep your name out there in front of them. So let's talk about email marketing, because really the list only works if you have email marketing. Now, it would work if you wanted to spend hundreds of dollars sending postcards with stamps on them, or, which you can do. That's part of the marketing. But email marketing is free, and you can do so many more things with it. It's a great way to keep in touch. And now I know a lot of people say, well, email marketing is not as effective as other marketing tools. And that's not true. It still is very effective. It continues to be as important as all the other digital tools that you have. So, despite the rise of various communication channels and social media platforms, it remains powerful. It helps connect with the audience that you're trying to get with. So, I love email marketing. Now, and also, it's the most inexpensive, right? So, for example, I use MailChimp, and I'm not affiliated with MailChimp. I'm not getting paid to promote them. I'm only using their name because that's what I use. You can get a basic email monthly cost for $20, a little over $20 a month. And with that $20 a month, you can have up to 500 contacts in your list, and you can mail up to 6,000 emails per month. So that means you can mail those 500 people 12 times per month if you so desire, and it fits within your marketing campaign. Now, if you want to pay a little bit more, you can get many more tools. For instance, you can get a workflow or automation where it'll allow you to split out your segments. And it's one of those things where if this person clicks on a link, they get this email. If this person doesn't click on a link, they don't get that email. So you can be as specific and industrious as you want with these email platforms. And MailChimp is not the only email platform. There are a lot of them out there. Again, do what I told you. I'm looking for X, during the best X for 2020, whatever. Go to Google. Now, once people have signed up, you need to keep them engaged by continuously uh, conversing with them. You can do this by sending out relevant updates about new products or services, sharing inspirational stories, advice from other companies, celebrating milestones, you asking for donations, whatever works for your audience. Also, if you gather contact information such as phone numbers, you can also send SMS notices directly to a client and donor phone numbers. Those messages really get noticed and they offer a sense of urgency. Again, these messages, as well as your email, should be part of a strategy, and the content should be written as part of a marketing campaign because you do not want to spam people. Cultivate a list of people who are willing to engage with you, first of all, not just grabbing a whole bunch of names. Usually when I meet someone in public, this is a good thing to do too. And I give them a card, they give me their card. I always ask them, "Do you mind if I put you on my mailing list?" And they're not going to say no. They'll go, "Oh, okay, that's fine." That's their buy-in right there. They become a part of my mailing list. With an emailing service, you can even time the release of your emails. You can categorize them into segments, like I said, based on how they respond to your emails, and you can schedule them. I believe even in the basic package with MailChimp, you can schedule mails in groups to go out at a certain time. You literally could communicate with leads while you sleep. Now, if you did nothing but focus on developing a robust list and using email marketing campaigns, it could be the foundation of your marketing today using very little of your marketing budget. Also, having an updated website that contains a form that will gather names is also a big benefit. You can use your social media to push people to your website to sign up for information or to utilize your services. It all ties together. We want to employ the 5 points we have discussed that will help you immediately begin to improve your market outreach. Having the list and using email marketing alone is a far more economical way of reaching out to your constituents. Developing emails that speak directly to them in a timed manner and developing campaigns around those emails will lend itself to great benefits. You could actually have donor volunteer campaigns that run throughout the year whenever you need it. And they could supplement your events that raise money. So I found this quote when I was researching and putting this webinar together, and I thought it was absolutely on point. It's from the Foundation Group. I don't know, I didn't know them before I started doing this webinar, and some of you may know who they are. But this quote says, "If you don't have a plan for how you are going to operate, who your target audience is, how you're going to fund it, what technology needs need to be locked down, your new nonprofit has virtually no chance of getting off the ground." And I say, your current nonprofit has virtually no chance of sustaining itself. Just think about that for a few minutes. So I'm giving you the opportunity um, to speak directly with me about your marketing and your communications needs. How are we going to do that, right? So all you have to do is sign up using the button below this video. And when you do, you'll get taken to a page to complete a questionnaire. I have to tell you, this call is free, so I'm not going to charge you for it. Fill out the questionnaire. We sit down, we talk about it, we analyze, we go through a lot of things we talked about today. We are going to review what you've done in the past and what you want to do in the future. We'll even determine whether you may be eligible for a one-on-one coaching program that I've developed called the Communications Accelerator Coaching Program, where you get 3 months of 60-minute coaching sessions. Within the coaching program, what I usually do is I'll break down the ingredients of a successful marketing plan for nonprofits and avoid a lot of stuff that may not be right for you at this stage of your organization's development. I'll identify some things that you can do where you are right now. So we're going to look at your objectives and strategies and timelines and all of that. But first, we've got to have that marketing call to determine even if you qualify for the Marketing Accelerator Program. And I'm not trying to fill up a coaching program because there will be some people who just won't fit the profile to be in my coaching accelerator program, my marketing accelerator program. I'm sorry, communications accelerator program. So what you have to do is you've got to fill out the form, the survey below, like I said before, and we'll have that conversation. Because if you've been struggling for the last 6 to 12 months and you're still spinning your wheels, chances are if you stay on the same track, you're going to be where you are right now next year. And who knows, you may not even be in existence next year. Marketing communications is a key part of your sustainability and success. Let me reiterate, I'm not looking to pack my coaching program. Even after our call, we may determine that this program is not for your organization at this time. I want to be able to work with organizations fully and provide results. That means we're not only working with with nonprofits that are considered nonprofits. We're looking to work with nonprofits that are legally considered nonprofits. So if you are not a legal nonprofit or not for profit that is currently providing services to a community, if you're only a nonprofit or a nonprofit on paper, or you have some small goals, this program is not for you. Unfortunately, I don't help people start nonprofits. This is a marketing communications coaching program only. So let me reiterate, I do not help people start nonprofits. But if you are seriously ready to move your organization forward, schedule a call. Let's chat, and we'll determine where you are. And if the Communications Accelerator is right for your organization, we can move forward. Schedule a call using the button below this video as soon as possible, because I know the calendar will fill up and I can only take a limited number of people right now. It's been great talking to you. I hope that I've been able to give you some information that will help you and your nonprofit. Again, I want to serve you and I want to be able to help as many of you as possible. So if you want to be to talk with me, just go down and support and submit your information. You must fill out the questionnaire, however. If you don't fill out the questionnaire, then we will cancel the call because this is really an important part of the process. And again, we may talk and you may not be ready for the communications accelerator, and that's fine. We would have had a wonderful call, and I look forward to talking to you. So spots will be snapped up very, very quickly. So if you're interested in what I'm saying right now, I suggest you book a call, and I look forward to talking to you in the future. I hope I provided you with great information. Have a good day.